So people have been calling me out recently because they say, Rebecca, you talk all the time about keywords and how important keywords are to making sales on Poshmark, but I checked out your listings in your closet and I don't really see that many keywords. You must be completely full of crap. Well, yes and no. Let me explain. So, yes, I totally believe in keywords. I think that keywords and sharing both are probably the two most important things you can do to make sales and increase your sales on Poshmark. I also believe that if you don't have all of the relevant keywords that could be applied to your listing, then you are definitely missing out on sales because then you're not coming up in all of those searches. So yes, I'm totally a big believer of keywords. Where people call me out and when they look at my listings and they don't see them, let me explain. So I'm a busy mom. I actually don't do my listings myself anymore. I have hired a virtual assistant. She's been with me for years and she drafts all of my listings in Vendu for me. All I do is go in every day, price it, and make it live. So she's dealing with the photos, she's adding the keywords, she's filling out all the fields and drafting everything in Vendu for me, which is great and a huge time saver for me. Now, over the years, she has learned a lot of keywords. And so she really does get the basics for, I would say, a mediocre to good listing up without a problem. And I don't have to do any work. I just pay her to do it and it gets done for me, which is great. So that's like the baseline. Now, I could, when I go in and price the items and make it live, that usually takes me like 30 seconds. I could probably spend a couple of extra minutes per listing and go ahead and add all the keywords that I know about, that I know if I applied these keywords, it would get the listing to sell or sell faster than it would without them, because it's going to push those listings into more searches for every single keyword that you're adding. So I could totally do that, but I don't. I choose not to. And the reason is because I'm kind of lazy. Like, my whole channel and everything that I do with content is to show you guys how you can make more sales with less work. So I'm not about doing more work up front. I'm about doing the minimum amount of work possible and then letting those listings sell as is. And when they don't, if they don't, then I go ahead and add in more keywords and revise them and do a lot of things to get those items to sell. And that usually works every time. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to share with you my 3R strategy so that you can go in, deal with slow sales, and get those items to sell. I'm also going to be revising listings here with you to show you exactly what I'm doing so that you can see the process too. Thank you to Vendu for sponsoring today's video. Since we are talking about my 3R strategy, it only makes sense for me to kind of highlight how this happens and how this gets done so well for me. So I use Vendu to draft my listings, but I use Vendu a lot to delist and relist items. And this works super fast, super easy, and super quick in Vendu because I'm just going in and clicking a couple of extra buttons to make all of that work happen on my behalf, and Vendu does it for me. Also, I can use the bulk feature to delist and relist a bunch of items all at once, and that's even faster. It literally takes seconds of your time. I have used Vendu for years to create my drafts for multiple platforms, to cross-post items to multiple platforms, to delist and relist, to manage my inventory, to track my analytics, and tons more things. I love Vendu and I'm happy they sponsored this video. And if you want to get started with Vendu, go ahead and use the link down below. You get 30% off your first month and you can join me in getting a lot more work done a lot faster. Okay, so let's get into the 3R strategy to start with. I've got 3 steps for it. We'll talk about it. And then we're going to go ahead and actually do some revisions on Poshmark so you can see exactly what I do. So step 1, well, first the strategy. The strategy for the 3 R's is reduce, revise, and relist. So that's the 3 R's, and I do it in these 3 steps because of a few reasons. So let's dive in. So step 1 is reduce. So before I do anything, I want to go ahead and try to get these items to sell, again, with as little work as possible. And for me, the way to do that is either to drop prices or to send out my deepest offer to likers. And oftentimes I'm using automation service for that. So that's done without any work from me, basically. And so many times, just from doing that reduction in price or that deep offer to likers, I'm gonna go ahead and clear out a few items right away just by dealing with the price. And so that's great. So we're gonna reduce, okay? Now, the next thing we're gonna do is go ahead and revise. And when we revise, we're gonna be adding keywords. You might notice that something's wrong. You might wanna deal with your photos. Today, for this purpose, we're just gonna be adding keywords just to kind of show you that point. But you wanna revise your item in whichever way it needs so that it can sell. And so you're going to reduce up front, then you're going to revise, and then the third step is to relist. Now, this is why it's important to do that first step of reduce first, because when you reduce, you're giving everyone the chance to buy that item at the lowest price. And if they don't, then you have to know that when you revise and relist, you're gonna clear out all of those likers. So you wanna give them every chance to buy first by reducing the price or sending out the deep offer to likers. Then you revise, then you relist. And that's gonna clear out all those old likers, but it's going to refresh your listing, have it come up into the fresh, section. It's gonna be in the just in section. And some people shop that way. So just relisting on its own can get you more sales. Just revising alone can get you more sales. And just reducing alone can get you more sales. But when you do it in this order and with this intention behind it, you will get sales at every step, and that's gonna help you overall just kind of get rid of those stale items, combat slow sales, and make more sales on Poshmark. The quickest and easiest way that I relist my items is using Vendu, not the way you do it on Poshmark, because that takes a lot longer. It's a lot more clicks, a lot more manual work that you have to deal with. So when you do it with Vendu, it's literally just a few clicks. It's so much faster. So be sure to use that link down in the description below to sign up for Vendu so you can get 30% off your first month and delist and relist your items for the 3R strategy super fast. Okay, that is the 3R strategy. Now we're gonna dive into Poshmark and we're gonna go ahead and revise some listings so you can see what keywords I'm adding to them. Okay, I'm in my Vendu and I just thought I would show you real quick, I won't do this for all of them, but how I easily find my listings and deal with them. So all of my listings have a particular item number, or I can search by the brand or whatever keyword I want. So I'm just gonna put in the item number for the one that I'm interested in. It pulled it right up, which is super easy to manage your inventory. I'm gonna go ahead and click on it, and then I'm gonna go to my Poshmark tab. Now, right now this item is listed. We're gonna go ahead and add some keywords to it to revise it, but I do wanna just show you the listing real quick first. So you can easily click on the listing, and this is the one that we're gonna go ahead and do. So already my virtual assistant has found the stock photo, put in all the photos. She does all the things that need to get done. And she listed this as a Zara patchwork boho prairie dress, extra small, multi-floral, smocked ruffle lined. And then in my description, there aren't a lot of extra keywords. We just have a listing template that we stick in there. So if I wanted to add more keywords to get this item to sell, these are the ones that I think would apply. Split neck, chiffon, peasant dress, mixed print, bohemian, relaxed, flowy, and comfortable. So these are ones that I would add on here. So I'm gonna go ahead, now that I've identified that that's what I'm doing, I'm going to scroll down, and all I'm gonna do is add these keywords into the description. And so I guess I should have copied and pasted them from my notes, but we'll go ahead and type these in the first time, and then the next ones, I'll go ahead and edit those out so it doesn't take too much of your time. Peasant dress. And I just do keyword, comma, keyword, comma, keyword, because that gets it pulled up. It gives the buyer all of the information. I don't spend a lot of time on making the words like into sentences. Now, I do believe that if you did take the time to make them into sentences, and actually I have a sales phrases guide along with my keyword list that like gives fun and cute sales phrases like add this statement piece to your wardrobe, like all those things you can totally do, but I don't really do that. I don't spend the extra time. I want to get this item sold with as little time for me as possible. So that first step is having the virtual assistant do it. The second step is if it doesn't sell, then I'm going to go ahead and reduce the price, which I already sent out my large offer to likers, so that's already happened. Now I'm doing step 2 and 3, which is the revising and the relisting. So I'm adding these words in, and maybe I'll just give it a little enter. And then literally all you need to do to delist and relist this after you've revised it is hit delist. And that takes just a few seconds. And then all you do is hit relist and it does it. Now I could stay here and wait till it gets relisted, but I don't need to. With Vendu, it just says you can continue listing as we post this item for you, which is great. So I'm just gonna move on to the next thing and I'm not gonna worry about it. And that will just get listed for me. And so now I already did the reduction the other day. Now I revised it and now we relisted it. So now that item has hit all 3 of those categories and will have the best chance to sell now that it's refreshed with new keywords and didn't sell with the reduction. That's why we're going on to the next step. But I had a listing this morning that I shipped out that did sell from my reduction. So it works, like buyers buy for all different kinds of reasons. And so it's great to kind of hit up all of these different types of steps. I'm gonna stop rambling now and go on to the next one. 5329. Okay, so this is the next one, another Zara dress, and this one is gonna have some similar keywords because what I usually recommend is that when you learn a new keyword, that you go back into all of your listings where that keyword would apply and add it to everything where it applies. So for me, I just realized that like this didn't also have peasant dress. And so that's not a new keyword for me, but it's something that I realized as I was looking through some listings, it wasn't on them. And so that's why the last one and this one, I'm gonna apply that same keyword. And if I wanted to, I'm not gonna do it in this video, I would apply it to all the other items that it applies for. So if you learn something new or you have a keyword that you want to add, you can go ahead and apply it to a bunch of listings at once during this revise and relist stage so that you can, you know, kind of get more bang for your buck on it. Or you can just go in and add whatever keywords apply to the items that you're just trying to move. So the stale items, you would just go back and find those and just add whatever extra keywords you could. Or you could add all of these keywords up front, which would be better. So let's go ahead and edit this one. So I'm gonna scroll down without moving the screen too much. So here we're going to add flutter sleeve. We are going to add knee length, peasant dress, which I spelled wrong, and romantic. Now I tried to go through and add a few different types of keywords. Like romantic is more of a style, a feel, kind of like bohemian was for the last one. And some people search that way for the look that they're going for. They may not be searching for flutter sleeve. They might be searching for a romantic dress. Some people will search more for a specific style element like flutter sleeve or like knee length or a certain type of, you know, sleeve length or neckline or whatever. So again, we're just gonna go ahead and hit delist. And then we're gonna hit relist. And again, I'm doing this individually because we're going through and revising them individually. If you were just doing a step of like, I wanna relist 20 items today, you can use the bulk feature and that would work out even faster for you. Okay, so in the interest of time, what I thought I would do at this point is I'll just bring up the listing and tell you what keywords I'm planning on adding to them so that I'm not taking up all of your time as I type everything in and make typos and all of that. But as you can see here, delisting and relisting one by one is super fast with Vendu. If you're just going to delist and relist a bunch at once, I highly recommend that bulk feature. But going in and adding new keywords and revising and then relisting is definitely the strategy. So for this one, This already says Zara off the shoulder, A-line dress, medium, mustard, flare sleeve, midi. So that has a lot of really good basic keywords, but I think we can add a few more. Now, one of the things that I wanted to mention specifically is adding extra keywords in and around color. This is a great way to get your items sold because what I say is one color, you might say is a different color. Even though we both mean the same thing, and even though we're both looking at the same dress, we might call it different colors. Because I don't know about you, but I'm not a Pantone expert. So I don't actually know if this is mustard. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's, here are the other ones I thought of adding, canary, yellow, goldenrod, or mustard, which we have. So you can spend a lot of time going in and looking up those color charts and really trying to identify exactly what it is. But think about your buyer. They're not doing that. They just have an idea of what they want, and maybe they don't even have the right words to describe it. And so what I might say is mustard, somebody else is going to say is canary, and somebody else is going to say goldenrod. If I have all three of those in there, then I can come up for all three of those searches. I do this a lot with burgundy, wine, merlot, those kinds, because they are all very similar as well, I feel. And so people use a lot of those interchangeably. So for this one, it's canary, goldenrod, mustard. So I'm going to make sure all those are in there. I'm also going to add peasant dress, and I'm also going to add romantic to it. Again, because I think that it just kind of goes along with that line. Okay, here's the next one. This is a Zara floral ruched v-neck blouse, extra large, black, 3/4 bell sleeve peplum. Lots of great keywords here. There's a few more that we can add, but I did want to add two specifically which struck out at me of okay, I wish that my VA had added these originally, but now we're going to go ahead and add them, which is plunge and deep V-neck. So she has V-neck, but in this is a plunge. This is a deep V. This really gets down in there. And so some people are looking for that specifically. And so they might put plunge blouse or floral deep V blouse or whatever. And so I want to come up for that because that is an element of this dress that's not being covered here. She did cover a lot of things, but I definitely want to add plunge and deep V-neck to this. So here we have a Zara lace-up knit dress, medium, white, 3/4 sleeve, asymmetric, slit. So again, lots of good keywords, but there's a few more that we can add. Bodycon, because it's that tight-fitting kind of dress. Fitted, some people are looking for that. Tight, which honestly, I would never put, just kind of thinking of it off the cuff. But as I've sold more on Poshmark, I have seen the way people describe things, and I have seen the way people search for things, and it is amazing to me because we're resellers, we're looking for those keywords, we're building our vocabulary, but the average buyer doesn't. So she might just know that she's looking for a tight white dress. Literally that might be her search. And so if you don't have tight in there, you're not coming up. And so I feel like we have to put the correct professional fashion keyword terminology, but we also have to put the terminology that's more for the layman, that just put in what they're looking for based on perhaps their limited fashion keyword terminology. The other one is sexy. So sometimes people are looking for a sexy dress. Sometimes they're looking for a sexy date night dress for what the occasion is. And then again, like romantic, like bohemian, sexy, it's kind of a look and feel and an essence that you're giving off. And it's not necessarily a specific element like neckline or sleeve length or something like that. So try to think what kind of vibes you're trying to give off with this item and what that buyer is going to be looking for. Okay, next one is Zara floral two-way off the shoulder dress, small multi-ruched puff sleeve. I will tell you that even though my virtual assistant does a good job, and obviously she does miss some things, every once in a while there are some really funny keywords that I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Like, what is two-way? Am I missing something? I don't know what two-way is. So I don't know what she's putting in there. Whatever, it's fine. Maybe she knows something that I don't. So I would add here, sweetheart neckline, tight, and tropical. She has floral. She has multi, if somebody's looking for a multicolor. She's got the puff sleeve, the ruching, all of that. But I would definitely add tropical because it's that type of print. And tight and sweetheart neckline I think is important because some people may be looking for that. They feel like that complements the way their body is, and so they may be looking for that type of neckline. Okay, so I realized that a lot of the ones I had were dresses, but I sell a lot of dresses, so that's why I had that many. But this one I thought was really good for pants because I think it's got some good examples in it. So these are Zara metallic ribbed culottes medium, silver black, high rise, elastic waist. Okay, so a lot of really good things there, but I thought of a bunch more. So again, going off the theme of it may not be the exactly accurate term, but it could be the term that someone knows. In addition to culottes, I would put palazzo pants and gaucho pants. So these are all loose fitting type pants, and they each may have their own specific fashion element that even I am ignorant of what makes one a gaucho pant, what makes one a palazzo pant, what makes one a culotte. I don't even know. And honestly, fashion really isn't my thing. I do the best I can. But for me, I know that those are all similar types of pants. And so if I'm someone that doesn't know, I might call them by one or the other or the other. So I want to put all three. The other one she doesn't have in here is pull on, which if it's an elastic waist, that means you pull on those pants. And so some people are looking for pull on pants, which means that they don't have a zipper. So pull on, comfortable, dressy, because they are dressy, shimmer, shiny, and glimmer. Now, I don't know if any of those last couple are going to be the things that make it sell. Is someone looking for glimmer pants? I don't know, but I'm in here and synonyms came to my mind, and so I'm going to add them. If you have something that applies, it's okay to add it. It doesn't mean it has to be the one to make it sell. Now, should I go in here and add, ankle pants? No, because that doesn't apply because these aren't ankle pants. So for me, you don't want to go add in things that you think someone might want maybe if they see your item. That's keyword stuffing. Don't do that. Do things that apply, add keywords that make sense because the goal is to get your item sold, not to get it seen. So if you get it seen by someone, but it doesn't apply to what they're looking for because they thought ankle and your thing isn't ankle, I just spit, then it doesn't matter because they're not going to buy your thing. But if you put it and it applies and you get seen in the search of the thing that they're looking for, that's better. That has a better chance of getting your item sold. Okay, so that was the 3R strategy. Again, reduce, revise, and relist. And I highly encourage you to give this a try in the 3-step process when you have slow sales, when you're trying to get certain stale items to move, or when you just want to increase your Poshmark sales overall, adding more keywords to an item, reducing the price, relisting it. All 3 of these steps will go ahead and help you get more sales on Poshmark. So go ahead and try out this method and let me know in the comments below if this is something that works for you and how it worked. I would love to hear it. Thank you again to Vendu for sponsoring today's video. Go ahead and use the link again down in the description below to go ahead and start off for free. You can start off with 5 listings on Vendu to try it out. And then your first paid month with that link is 30% off, which is great. I highly recommend it. And I thank Vendu so much for sponsoring this video. Go ahead and check out the next video that comes up right here.